What's poppin', y'all? Vlad is at the center of a very gross tape being leaked, and I have an interesting theory about who exactly leaked this. Now, this all started with an interview that Vlad did 5 months ago, interviewing one of Diddy's hired guys, for lack of a better word, Sly Diggler, an adult entertainer, male adult entertainer. And in this interview, he would talk about his experience with Diddy and Daphne Joy in particular, and one of the freak-offs that they had. And he would also describe the size of, after being asked by Vlad, the size of Diddy's, downstairs. And he would say it was one of the smallest he had ever seen. And then Vlad would extrapolate and say, oh, this explains a lot. And he would be shown a tape of it, a less than 60-second tape that Sly Diggler had on his phone. So this already happened. Fast forward until a couple of days ago, that tape leaks. It leaks on the internet. I think the first place it leaked on was Lipstick Alley, in one of the dark rooms of Lipstick Alley, which shout out to all the girls on Lipstick Alley. They do their research. I'll tell you that much. I fortunately never had to see this tape. I just heard the descriptions, but 50 Cent tried to jump ahead of it and say the following. She's not a victim. Sire, can you imagine going to 8th grade to find out this is your mom? The court system in LA thinks it's fine. And then he reposts the Neighborhood Talk posting this and saying social users react to alleged footage of Diddy. It's not alleged because people were wondering whether this was AI or not. And Vlad even came out on his own channel with a video recording himself saying, hey guys, I can confirm this. I saw the beginning of this, and that's the one that the adult entertainer sent me. So a lot of people felt that this might have been leaked by either Sly Diggler or Vlad. Vlad said it's not me. And 50 Cent would also post it on IG and say, free Diddy. He has gone through enough being born with no D. LOL. And I was seeing that, I'm like, man, this does not look good for 50, to be honest, because in that, some people are saying that there was some moments where she was getting urinated on. She was just slobbering on meat. It was, and keep in mind, 50 Cent's arch nemesis is Diddy, right? So this happens. And then Daphne Joy responds to this whole thing. And she says, everybody plays the fool sometime, and I have been the biggest fool. I just wanted my man at the time to be happy and satisfied. Okay. I wanted to fulfill all his desires, even if that meant breaking my own boundaries. Okay. I deeply loved him, and I believe he loved me too. It's still so painful for me to process the harsh reality and truth of that relationship. But as time passes and in my quiet moments, I realize that it was far from love. Keep in mind, she had a child with 50 Cent. 50 Cent wanted a family with this woman. And she went and, quote, fell in love with his arch nemesis, his worst enemy, a guy who's known to be a freakazoid and within the industry already was known to have rumors on his name that he didn't even like women. So she knew all this before she even got with Diddy, and he was paying her a salary too. The recent leak was a tape I never consented to being filmed on. I don't believe this is true. I was blackmailed by the person in the video and was threatened that if I didn't give him the lump sum of money that they would leak it on the web. I almost gave in to this demand, and once I didn't, this person eventually sold this tape to a giant media outlet. The media outlet called me one day and said they had the tape and asked if I had any comment before the release. It was the first time I ever fainted in my life. This is a problem here because there's a thing called revenge porn laws. So there's no way that a media company is going to be able to buy something and then threaten to leak it if you never consented to being filmed. That's two crimes right there. They're going to leak it, which is the revenge porn, and they're extorting you for money before they leak illegal footage. I don't believe that. Once the media company understood the tape they purchased was revenge porn and an extortion scheme, they backed off from broadcasting it. Okay, this is a little bit sensible, but I don't trust anything that comes out of her mouth. I know they're probably reading this, and I want to say thank you for doing the right thing, even though years later it's come back to haunt me again. It took me all day to find the courage to re-watch my abuse. Having to watch this tape was triggering and painful because only I knew the inner turmoil and pressures I felt in those moments. I was not and was never in my right mind throughout the entirety of that relationship. This is crazy. She's not even trying to say like, yeah, I was off the GHB, whatever the hell else they were doing. And keep in mind, she said she enjoyed all of this. And no, I was off all of that. It was actually during the entire duration of the relationship, which was over a year, that I was just, I don't know, I was out of my mind. Yeah, she was money drunk. She was drunk off the lifestyle. She was on private jets with Diddy. He was paying for apartments, LA homes. Yeah, she was drunk. Anybody would be out of their mind living a lifestyle like that. I was not and was never in my right mind. I just want to hold on to that girl in that room. She was not a girl in that room. She's 39 right now. She was 30. She was a grown woman for at least 10 years. And get her out of there and tell her that wasn't love and she didn't need to do this for love. My heart is breaking as I type this. I wish so many things were different, but I can't take back the hands of time. I can only continue to move forward and slowly learn to love and trust myself again. I want to love and protect myself so much that I'll never come across such a harmful environment again. This is the first time that I've ever felt a part of my own body and that my body belongs to me. I'm precious, not after that. I am special. I am worthy. This sounds like one of those rituals they tell themselves in a big group. This I promise to hold true in my heart for the woman I am becoming and for the woman I once lost. Keep in mind, one word that there is zero of in this entire statement is accountability. Zero of it. So her and Abba have something in common. And funny enough, Vlad would respond and say, I would like to point out that even though Daphne Joy is so distraught over her freak-off tape with Diddy getting leaked, her OF is having an 85% off sale. You know she's making a bag off of that recently. Vlad would also claim he knows how it got leaked and won't tell us. I know how the Diddy, Daphne Joy, and Sly Diggler tape got leaked. It was a private conversation, so I can't give out the details. But like I said before, I never had that video in my possession. So he's just flexing on us like, hey guys, I know how it got leaked, but I'm not telling you. So a whole pointless tweet at that. But I developed a little bit of a theory on my own. Keep in mind, it's just a theory of mine, but level with me here. I said this on X, and I said, I think Diddy leaked this himself, or obviously orchestrated the leaking of it. Think about it. The only people that had this tape were Diddy, the guy who recorded it, the adult entertainer, Sly Diggler in this case, and Daphne Joy may have had it, but she's saying that she didn't have it. And even if she did, she would never release it out of the humiliation, and you could tell by her reaction she didn't want it released. Vlad saw the tape. The adult entertainer didn't leak it despite having the tape and having done that interview with Vlad over 5 months ago. Keep in mind, 5 months ago is when this interview happened and when he showed it to Vlad. So if Vlad and that guy wanted their interview to be explosive, they would have leaked it then and there. It would have made the most sense. And if you think about this, how does this really harm Diddy? Sure, 50 Cent tried to jump in front of it, but I think that's more defense than it is offense towards Diddy. Like, yeah, we think he's freakier than before, but reputationally, right now, this doesn't harm him much, other than us learning that he has a small D, which is meaningless in the grand scheme of things, right? Like other things that he's currently dealing with, prison, being a dude that likes your girl getting smashed, potentially liking dudes, DV, other things that really are a lot of a bigger deal than this. And the whole small D thing isn't news because that was described by the adult entertainer in the Vlad interview 5 months ago. So that's not news. Yeah, it's spread wider, but it's not something that debuted. However, a visual of 50 Cent's baby mother getting allegedly urinated on, desecrated, and humiliated all over the internet is one hell of a revenge. Because keep in mind, 50 Cent took advantage of Diddy's situation and that court case to launch this documentary that painted Diddy as something the jury did not. A lot of people just watched that Diddy documentary and developed their opinion of Diddy post-case without even looking at what he got convicted of, which was the Mann Act, which was the conviction of transporting male prostitutes, not doing anything to women, and definitely not doing anything to women that were younger. And yeah, sure, we know he was physically harming them. We saw the Cassie video. And he was also harming another one of them in the midst of the investigation, too, after he was already arrested or he was searched the first time, his home. But he never got charged for those things. Or S crimes involving minors, which is what the image surrounding Diddy is to the average person. Like the average person, post 50 Cent documentary, they think Diddy's like an Epstein, like a Black Epstein, which he's not even close. So I think this is Diddy trying to get back at 50 Cent because if you guys recall, 6ix9ine, Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX guy, and Diddy were all in the same lockup in jail at Brooklyn MDC. And academics would recount a conversation that 6ix9ine had with Diddy.
Word two, and this is why I said Diddy going 6ix9ine. I think like he can't ever like. This is literally what 6ix9ine told me. He's like, yo, bro, when I got in here, Diddy was in here sleeping all day. He wasn't doing nothing. Like, almost like, I ain't trying to, because y'all gonna run with this a headline. Like, not necessarily, but like, bro, like, you in jail. Like, they ain't trying to let you out. Like, he's just sleeping a lot. And 6ix9ine literally told me, he said, yo, I told that, yo, bro, you can't just sleep all day. You got to fight. Bro, like, they running all type of story every day. Another woman say you did something. Bro, you got to defend yourself, bro. Like, you got to tap in with it. Like, bro, like, you just going to sit here and let just violate you and just make up all type of stories about you? Like, if you know you ain't did nothing, and I heard Diddy took that advice. That's probably one of the reasons he agreed to talk to me, because he was just like, yo, you got to tap in with the niggas who are in the media. Like, bro, they all think if they're running 20 stories about you, they probably think you fucking did everything by now. Tap in with them, show them you human, like, explain yourself or do whatever. By the way, I think that's great advice. I think 6ix9ine is amazing for that. This is why 6ix9ine owns the media, if you ask me. Bro, yeah, if you just sleep in your cell all day and act like nothing happened, or you're just sad, or you're just waiting for your lawyers to come with like some type of Hail Mary. Yeah, so that's like, all right, bet. Homie's like, yo, I'm gonna tap you with my son. I bet. Talk to you later, bro. So I'm gonna see you when I get out. All right, cool. We good.
So 6ix9ine hit Diddy with the Meek Mill, get up. He said, like, yo, you got to do something about this, man. You can't just let them run your name through the mud. You got to fight back. And that's when Diddy started hiring private investigators. He started to try to set the record straight on his name and not lie, but start painting an accurate picture of what's been going on. We've had Ray J, who isn't the greatest defender, to be honest, defending Diddy since then. Since forever. And we've had other people saying like, hey, look, what this guy did, yes, DV, especially like how brutal it was. Other people have done that within hip hop, and they have careers right now. And the other stuff that even Ye was defending Diddy. So with 6ix9ine telling him this and Diddy changing it up, I think this is Diddy trying to get back at 50 Cent. 50 Cent made that doc on Diddy because 50 Cent was so hurt that Diddy was able to take this woman, and I posted these images. Look at these images that I posted. 50 Cent was absolutely enamored, in love. His heart grew 3 sizes that day, like the Grinch, like in the movie. This guy was absolutely in love with this woman, and he had a child with her. And after his first relationship failed, let me continue. I think this is Diddy trying to get back at 50 Cent. And even if it's not Diddy or somebody close to Diddy, he is still the one that gets the upper hand in this situation. 50 is the one scrambling to pretend like he's unbothered, when we know damn sure this harms him deeply. Because after casting away his first family, he has no intention of helping, supporting. He was counting down the days like a prisoner in lockup, counting down those tallies? Yeah, those tallies before they get out, until he had to stop paying child support to his first son, Marquise, and the baby mama, because I think she hung out with Rick Ross or something. He didn't even like them before that. But that was that situation. And then he starts a new family, and that falls apart. And now I believe he's trying to get sole custody of his kid. But clearly those two situations both failed. And this second one failed in even a more humiliating fashion. And it's something he can't recover from. And 50's got a lot of ops. So this is ammo for people like a Jim Jones to start saying something. This is ammo for any of 50 Cent's ops that he clowns to make fun of him even more. And that's why I believe Diddy's behind this in some way, some shape or form. Or it just benefits Diddy. Because this doesn't harm Diddy at all. Like, we're not like, oh man, Diddy's such a weird. We already thought Diddy was a weirdo. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.